Moscow's about a bit. Muscovy's gonna get fucking shreked. Literally everyone, the whole world, not just whites. Cut your balls off. The fuck? the fuck? I didn't even realize that Rebels. I'll try and do that on my channel, by the way. I feel like the only way to be successful as YouTube is just to be authentic. By the way, I'm mainly on YouTube. I'm mainly on YouTube, but I just started streaming on Kick and Twitch as well. So. By the way, the reason I'm colonizing out here, I know people think it's not good for me, or not for me, but like for anyone playing EU4 to do colonial ideas. They are good for building a power base elsewhere if you're a small country. And usually I like to play smaller countries and try and build them kind of tall. So we're going to actually work on it. They almost have this. We're going to move in. Just don't have to re-sieges. Okay, cool. It's because the news is fucking negative. One thing I've noticed from being on YouTube and seeing these people who are like way out in the sticks but are posting videos, they always seem to have much more of a positive mindset. Yeah, there are plenty of people who are in the city and shit and have positive mindset, which I'm in the suburbs, so whatever. It's different from either. But I think it's easy to, I don't know. Yeah, I'll pause it later, but that's how I think too. Like, I think like sometimes you have to understand that life comes with goods and bads, and you just gotta push through the bad and relish the good. You know, it's just like it's not always gonna be perfect, but you can enjoy when it is good. I really like that in EU5 they're making like there. So I don't know if there's actually trade center map mode, like a trade map mode where it shows trade centers, but I know there's an actual harbors map mode. So for example, this right here is probably like 100% or 80%, maybe 70, 20. 75, 80, and it's not like you're not like stuck to like just the static trade center natural harbor things with this. Europe's borders have been like surprisingly stable for like a long time in this campaign. I'm not going to pull back from that because I know that's real, but I just know that not everyone believes it's real, so you gotta. I'm not going to like say it's not real because it is, but I'll let him talk. But they're real. Yeah, some of that is negative as fuck. So you're looking back on your childhood and you don't have shit for worries then. Because, and also, what he's saying about romanticizing the past and demonizing the future, that's basically because in the past, you were a kid, you had no worries near the beginning of your life, and then life started. That's a good thing, right? life starting is always a good thing. But in the past, in the future, all you got is to look forward to is losing your memory and eventually dying. So, or getting less sharper, getting less strong, and that yeah, you can be negative about that if you want, but there's plenty of good to be seen in later years too. Like you're gonna be like having grandkids, hopefully someday, having a house someday, and while it might not seem good as a young person right now, that's not gonna be the case entirely. Like I think a lot of people don't see that there's plenty of good to happen in the world. Um, but when you look at the news, you look at your feeds, you look at like things that are maybe not so. They're either not deep in a positive. Okay, they're either deep in a negative way, or they're not deep enough to where you don't think about what good you do have going on in your life. I think people lose sight of the positive things going on in the world, and I think that's kind of what he's trying to say in this video. But we'll keep watching. Okay, whatever. That's what I don't really use Google anymore. I use Microsoft. What's it called? Chat GPT through what's it called? Yeah. Whenever I'm doing research and thinking, I'm not really on YouTube or social media. I'm using that type of stuff. Why the fuck is it all shorts? Oh, it's fucking short. I hate shorts. Why am I getting showed shorts on YouTube? What the fuck is this? Dude. But if they don't, they can't. So that's the sad thing about it. That's why it's sad, because if you don't have hope, you can't, yeah. I've had not the best life, but I've had a good life, and I've tried to keep hope throughout the whole thing. And sometimes it's hard doing that, but everyone always gets to do that, or you'll give up. And people can't give up in life, or it's over. So you just gotta stay hopeful and do the best you can. kind of cool. Non-zero sum is really a true thing. I think people. I have this book. I've been meaning to read it, but I just haven't found the time. It's called Non-Zero Sum, or no, no, not Non-Zero Sum. It's like Non-Zeros with the title of the book, but it's pretty. It's pretty a good concept, knowing that like yes, maybe some things are zero sum games, but the world modernly, like maybe like 100 years ago, it was zero sum with at least regards to like certain things, but now it's not. Yeah, we'll go back a second. They're like coping. Yeah, coping to calm themselves down. That they need other people to feel as bad as they feel. And it's not that I'm not trying to bring them up in a negative way, but I was reacting to this video the other day. Asman, I'm not reacting in a negative way to his. I'm just not reacting to his videos because um, it's nothing personal toward him, but I just realized that he sometimes reacts to things in a really negative way, and I don't really care. I think he's a good guy overall, and I don't know. I just don't want to like have a negative thought process. So yeah, I do feel bad for him about his dad though. Um, I know some people on Twitch are like don't like him, but I think overall he has a good heart. He just has a weird way of coping about things. I'm not really gonna talk shit about him though, because he's a good guy. maybe like I don't know. Anyway. Napoleon's grave. I think he was where he's exiled. I mean, I know it is, but I don't know what the other place is. I think it was like he exiled him to Malta one time, and then the other one was Saint Helena. I think it was Malta. I don't know if that was what it was. The fuck? Doesn't affect you at all. Got like the brain rot hyper information overload type of thing. And I think that that's the problem when you have like too much info on you with like I don't know. I think the same people who do bed rotting are the same people who revel in negativity, and that's like just the problem with that. Like it causes both of those kind of correlate. Negativity and shit. Yeah. And I think I'll comment on this. I don't like school, and I don't like corporate jobs, and I don't like corporate bullshit. But um, one thing, sometimes, by the way, when I pause sometimes randomly when I'm saying something, it's because I'm formulating a thought, and I don't like speaking random bullshit and spouting like verbal trash, not knowing what I'm saying. Um, for one, a lot of teachers, I don't like school and I don't like corporate bullshit, but a lot of teachers teach because they actually do care about their students. I've seen this firsthand. Um, they want the best for them. I mean, I have a couple family members who one of them was going to be a teacher, and then one of them is a teacher. I know a couple people. I mean, I think generally you gotta assume good motivations of people unless they give you a reason otherwise. And if you are always assuming people are evil, yes, there might be people who are genuinely evil, but you can't always assume that, or you're just gonna look down on the whole world in a negative light. And I think that when you do that, you really set yourself up for like disappointment in every regard, just because you realize that like it might not be that way. You know, you might not have to think that way. And yeah, I'll let him keep talking though. And one thing I was gonna say, same thing with people who keep working shitty jobs. There's like little shorts and YouTube shorts about this. Like for example the one where it's like the what's it called? Um, it'll like show someone who's like worked one same job for a long ass time, and that'll be like I just realized I'm not clicking the right node. And that'll be like, for example, a show the roofer or whatever. Well, that's the same with every job. I mean, like most people who are adults, as in like they have a family, they have a house, they have rent, they have whatever expenses they need to meet. They don't. They're not doing that out of joy. They're not doing that because they enjoy their job. Most of the time, people don't enjoy their job. They do it because not even just they have to pay rent. Because yes, a lot of people, we all have to pay rent. Yeah, we all have to pay rent. We get it. We all pay rent. It sucks. But when you have kids and you have a family, which I don't, I don't have kids, but you know, when you have kids and stuff, like people don't really. I think people are well aware of that it is. It's not always perfect having. It's not always perfect. Life isn't always perfect. Is all I'm gonna say. Um, and sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do for people you care about. And I've done that for a long time. So that's all I'm gonna say on that.